Hey guys, how's it going? It's Thang. Welcome to this video. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to propagate your succulent plants through leaf cuttings, through stem cuttings, and through beheadings. So why do we want to do it? Because we love succulent plants and because they look beautiful. Although I do realize that the color in the video does not do this Echeverria Afterglow any justice. It looks magnificent and beautiful in real life, and I want multiple of them, right? So I want to reproduce them, multiply them. And you see this one right here, this is a Graptopendulum or Graptovaria super bum right here, very beautiful in real life. And also these Fred Eyes that's here right here as well, very beautiful in real life as well. So the first way to do it is through leaf cuttings, and these are leaf cuttings right here. These are from the Echeverria Afterglow. I'm going to show you with another plant. This is a different succulent. Leaf cutting is fairly simple. All you do is grab a leaf and just snap it off. Like that, or like that, or like that, right? So a lot of people will tell you, oh, please be gentle. You actually don't have to be gentle. The only thing you have to do is get a clean cut. And what I mean by that, I will show you. So that's all you do. Right, so you have these leaf cuttings. Clean cuts is when the contact from here where it touches the stem cuts off very clean. You can tell the difference between a clean cut and a bad cut. This is a bad cut right here. It's cut through the middle, so that way it's been broken off, and that's not what we want. Because although yes, this can pretty much propagate, it's going to be a much harder time versus something like this. So once we have the leaf cuttings, right, leaf cuttings, we want to let them callus over or dry or heal from 2 to 3 days. Usually for me, I actually let them dry out or heal out or callus out within a week's time under LED grow lights, or even right beside the windowsill, so that way it dries off through the sunlight or through the LED lights, and it gets nutrients at the same time. But that's me though. So you can still leave them for 2 to 3 days. The small ones definitely, but the big ones takes a little bit longer. So it might take up to at least 4 to 5 days for the big ones, or even 6 days. Like I said, a week, right? So when it dries out, all you have to do is put them into soil afterwards. Alright, so I have a bunch of them that's already put into soil because it's been dried out, calloused over, healed. So all we do is just put the leaf onto like that, and that's it. So what we want is we want the head right here to actually be in the soil a little bit. We don't want to be all the way in the soil like this, because the thing is that your new plant is going to grow underneath there, and when it does, it won't have any breathing room or light to actually survive, right? So you don't want to have it stuck into the soil. You want it just a little bit above it like that, and that's pretty much it. And you water it within 2 to 3 days. Water it. Leave it beside this windowsill where it has light or LED grow light. It actually propagates much faster when it has light and water. Okay, and at this stage right here, it's actually figuring out where gravity is, or which way gravity goes. So it's gonna go under, so the roots are gonna sprout out and it's gonna go downwards. Okay, so I'm going to show you some examples right here that I have. So these ones right here, I've left out in the sun with no soil, no water, and it actually propagates by itself. You can see right here, and that's pretty much it. Just out in the sun, in the balcony, on here, and that's it. No soil, no water. It does on its own, but it actually takes a much longer time for it to do so. Okay, these ones right here, I've put these ones in soil itself. I just put it in soil, leave it alone, and you know what? It actually grows much faster than these ones, but still a longer time versus anything that is in soil and with water and sunlight. So you can do all three ways if you wanted to. But water and soil and light makes it grow faster. Okay, so I'm going to show you also the succulent tray that I have, which is like my longest one, my oldest one. Okay, so this is the oldest tray that I currently have. As you can see, hopefully it focuses properly. I have a ton of leaves right here that have also babies in them as well. And they're pretty much ready, good to go to potting at the moment. But I want them to grow just a little bit bigger, so that way they have a better chance of actually surviving. You see right here. There you go. And that's pretty much it for leaf cuttings. So usually I have at least 5 leaves of a certain plant because I know something's gonna happen to it. Like this one, unfortunately this one is dead. Even though it's calloused off, sometimes things like this does happen. You will get casualties, so that's why you want to have more than just one single leaf to propagate, right? So then you know at least one of them is going to be successful, and you'll have a secondary succulent plants. You see, right here, this one has rotted away. The leaf itself has rotted away, but there's a little baby right here, and this is actually something that I want to mention to you guys. So here's an example of a leaf that has a ton of roots. You can see the baby. Let's ignore the baby. Let's pretend the baby doesn't exist, right? So when a leaf that only grows roots, it may be in trouble, because if it rots out like this, you won't actually get a succulent plant. If the leaf itself grows just the baby, just the baby before the root, you are actually okay, because then you know that once it has a little baby plant, it can photosynthesize and create its own food and create its own leaf system, even if the leaf itself has rotted away like this one. I can pretty much take this apart, put it into soil, and it will grow on its own. Okay, so that's one of the most important things that you have to understand about propagating, and whether you have roots or baby first. Having the baby first is much better versus having the roots. You can have a billion roots and never have any baby. Also, it might take a while for these things to grow roots or the babies. So patience is really virtue in this, okay? This has been with me since June 26th since we've had him, and it's starting to actually really regrow now. And one of the other questions I noticed about other people asking is, when do you remove the leaf from the succulent? So you have a choice to either remove the leaf from the succulent anytime you feel like, once you have the baby. Okay, once the baby is good enough like this, or even tinily like this. Okay, because as I mentioned, once the baby is out, the baby plant, it can create its own food, its own roots, and everything like that. So it doesn't really require a root on the bottom when you take it out. Right there, see? This one doesn't require a root, but if you put it onto soil, it'll grow its own root. Fairly simple like that. So I want to show you also, this is a plant that still has its leaf intact, and the leaf is actually healthy. The leaf is very strong, very plump, very healthy, so you don't have to take it out, but it doesn't look really attractive, does it? No, it doesn't. So it's up to you whether you want to keep the leaf in or you want to take it out. If you want to take it out without harming or even detaching the root, just cut it off right here, and it'll start shriveling off on its own, like almost to the base of the plant. It'll start shriveling off on its own, and once it shrivels off, you can just pluck it off and just throw it out, like this one right here. This baby right here, I just have to like get rid of that little leaf there and just put it into soil, and it'll just start growing on its own, not a problem. See how beautiful this is? And that's pretty much it for how to propagate through leaf cuttings. And it's honestly, it just takes a lot of time and a lot of patience for it to grow, and once it does, you'll be super happy that you've multiplied your plants, okay? Oh, and here's also this last thing. This is all, I've unplucked it. I plucked all the little babies from its leaf right there, as you can see, and just put it into soil. Oh, one of them hasn't had root yet, but every other one already has roots, and they're all good to go. See? All right, so the second way to do it is by beheading a succulent plant. So when it is super long like this, you can pretty much take off all the leaves that you want to, right? Leaf, 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 all the leaf, because when it's super stretched out, it's very unattractive. And when we take the leaves out, we can actually just leave it as is, like this, right? All right, well, let me finish making it attractive. Okay, si senor. When you take it out, it's pretty much attractive like this, because sometimes you just want it to have a little elongated, but this is like all the way that way instead of being straight, you know. And so you can actually leave it like this, and all the parts on the stem right here where the leaf used to be, it'll eventually grow a little baby pup right there, right? And so if you want to behead it, you can definitely behead it, and it'll actually promote the plant, the stem itself, to grow new babies within the stem where the leaf used to be. So we're gonna take this off, okay? Actually, I might not even cut it on this one, but I'll show you my Echeveria Afterglow. So what you usually want to do is you want to take off all the leaves, and then you want to cut it just below the rosette up here. Cut it just below the rosette right there, and then once you cut the rosette, you leave the stem alone with the roots right there, and you water it normally. And within a few days or within a week's time, it'll start popping tiny little succulents, tiny little plants on its stem. And see, this is the one that I did with the Fred Ives, which I've beheaded right here. Can you see? Right. Water it normally, and it'll start growing. This is also from an Echeveria Chromia right here. Right. So water your beheaded succulent normally. The stem right here. Don't take it out. You can use it. Just water it, and you should be good. So what are you gonna do with the beheaded rosette? So normally you would let it callus, because you don't want anything touching this, right? You don't want anything damaging or seeping through and giving you root rot, right? Once this is callus, all you do is pretty much put it into a pot, like so. And it'll start growing roots underneath. And once it starts growing root, it'll start growing back again. And that is pretty much it for when you behead a succulent. Lastly, I want to show you. See, here you go. See, this is a beheaded succulent. You can see the roots. Hold on, let me show you if you can see the roots or not. See, you can see the roots. I know the camera's really horrible. I'm sorry. Right there, right? Lots of roots on here as well. Beheaded succulent has roots. It doesn't focus. I'm sorry. Right. So these are pretty much good to go as a brand new succulent plant. Lastly, what we're going to do is do stem cutting. So certain succulents can only propagate through stem cuttings. It doesn't propagate through leaves. I know that some kalanchoes or kalanchos cannot propagate through leaves. They can only propagate through its offsprings, which are on its own leaves, and then through stem cutting. Stem cutting is when we cut a certain part. I don't know if you can see. Do you guys remember this glass pot that I cleaned up about a month or so, or about 2 months? It's my second video cleaning up plants. It's pretty much growing out now. Isn't that great? Yes! Yes, girl. Stem cutting is fairly easy. All we do is take a pair of shears, and we just cut the plant where we want to cut it. So let's take this one. I'm going to cut it right here. You see, this is a stem, right? Because everything above here is intact. This is a stem cutting. You can even cut it even further. As long as there's a leaf intact, you'll have a very healthy plant afterwards. And what do you do with these? Well, you can also let it callus over for 2 to 3 days to a week if you want to. If you're not intending to water it, you can just pretty much stick it back into the soil, And like Laura Eubanks says, as long as the succulent is standing, you've done your job. So do you remember when I also cut these and I had a bunch of cuttings? These cuttings have rooted for quite a while now, and they are healthy, they are amazing, and they're very, very, very strong. So I'm very happy with the succulent cuttings, these ones. And that's it. And that is pretty much how you propagate your plants, through leaf cuttings, through beheading the rosette, keeping the stem intact and just watering and letting it grow pups, and also through stem cuttings. And this kalanchoe, do you remember that video with this where I've cut the kalanchoe and I only had like one stem? Look how great this is growing now. It is so beautiful. It is beautiful, right? And that's it. That is how you propagate succulents, and it's not hard at all. It is super easy. If you have any questions, let me know down below. I'll answer them through the comments or through another video. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and hopefully guys you have your own succulent babies and propagations too, because I just love watching them grow. I love, multiplying the ones that I already have. Beautiful ones that I already have, like this Afterglow, the Fred Ives, the Super Bum, even the Echeverria Rainbow that I have. Hold on, let me show it to you. This one, this is an Echeverria Rainbow. Color on the screen doesn't do it justice. Yes, I know. I've already started propagating this through this right here, right there. Yeah, because I love the way it looks, and I also want to give them to my friends, my family members as well, because succulents here in Canada is a commodity, right? They don't grow naturally here in Canada because of the cold season that we have that is coming up. Winter is definitely coming. Don't worry, I'll make a video on how to take care of your succulents during the winter and when to bring them in. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this wonderful video. Like I said, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I'll happily answer them as best as I can. And if you like the video, a thumbs up, and don't forget to press subscribe for future content, okay? And I'll see you guys later. Love ya. Bye. Mwah.